Welcome to episode number 14 of the BullDog Bark. This is where we talk nothing but Crown Point football, and we get to do it every single week with the head football coach, Craig Bazia. Coach, how you doing today?
Ski, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. How about that?
Yeah, no better time to be talking football than Thanksgiving Day, and we are blessed to be able to do it, and looking forward to talking to you.
Couldn't be more thankful for the season and for everything that's come along with it. We have a lot to talk about today, including the amazing double overtime win against the Westfield Shamrocks in the semi-state. That's gotten you to where you are today. Coach, that was probably one of the most intense games. And like you say, when you're coaching, you probably don't think about it. But looking back, that's got to be one for the record books.
Well, I think just from the standpoint of when it happened, right, semi-state game, and having it at home, and all those things that came into play, it was just an unbelievable event for the community. And if anybody was there, they were witness something that obviously has never happened before, but the following that we had was just tremendous, and I can't thank the community enough for what they did for us.
Now, Coach, I got to the game an hour before the game even started, but word had it there was a crowd there probably even an hour before that. 2 hours before the game, the crowds were already packed. That's a good sign.
It's something else. It's something that you hope that you can build, and the number of people that were at that game that told me that was their first game that they've ever been to was crazy, and just the support, and we do a little BullDog walk from the field house up to the BullDog Center, roughly about an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 25 minutes before kickoff. And part of that walk is to go through the stadium. And when we went through the stadium, it was at least half to three quarters full. That was an hour and a half before the game. So terrific support, and home games matter. There's no doubt about it. And it was definitely in our favor that game.
Well, you faced a very talented Westfield team that coming into it, you had said was probably one of the best teams you were ever going to play. And it really came down to a tale of two halves for you. A great first half, and they came back in the second.
Yeah, they did. I mean, we knew they weren't going to die. You don't go to the state finals, I think, 4 out of the last 7 years, and like they have, and not have some fight in them. And I think we jumped on them early. That was the plan, right? They just getting off the bus after a 2.5 hour drive and get on them early. And the only disappointing thing is, starting the second half, we had a nice drive down to about the 5-yard line, and really felt like we could cement the game away, and had 2 penalties, which was uncharacteristic for us, 2 pre-snap penalties, and ended up not getting it in. So they were able to go down for a field goal, and then, unfortunately, I guess you can call it a block kick. It really wasn't a block punt. It was, a bad execution on our part, and we kicked it into one of our own players. And before you knew it, we had a ball game, and we were able to go ahead a little bit and jump, and they just came right back. So the champions that they were definitely a team that had a lot of resolve and a lot of grit and determination. And luckily for us, we had just made one more play than they did.
One more play, and it took double overtime to do it. You go into the first overtime and you get the coin flip. You win the flip, and you choose to be on defense first, which most teams do. What's your thought process there?
Yeah, we want to know what we're chasing, right? I mean, it's one of those things that, if we decide to go for 2 at some point, we want to know if we need to do that, or if it's just something that we want to do. So, yeah, most teams take defense, and we did, and they were able to get it in, and then put the emphasis on us now of being able to score, because if not, obviously the game is over.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did score, and I know you had said that you had even thought about going for 2. You went for 1. Why the choice?
Coin flip. We just decided we were going to flip a coin on the sideline, and it came up heads, and that means we were just going to kick it. So I thought about it, but I just felt like I thought they had the momentum a little bit going into the overtime. But I think after we scored, I thought we had some momentum, and it panned out that way because we took it in the second overtime and scored right away.
And you scored right away, and then left it up to the defense, which you have been doing for so many games this season. And they came up big on a 4th and 3.
They did, and Westfield came out the last quarter and were doing all different things that we had not seen. They had put number 7 a quarterback, and he was an athlete that could run it and throw it, and they were just doing a lot of different things we had not saw during the course of the game or in film study. So took us back a little bit, but our defense held tight and got a couple nice plays for no gain, and then it left us for about 4th and about 7, and from 4th and goal, and we were able to get some pressure on him. Will Clark got into the quarterback's face rather quick, and he threw it up, and looked like if we don't get a tip on it, there's a possibility that they score. But Jacob Jones, who had just a bunch of big plays during the game, both offensive and defensive, came up big and deflected the ball, and the Dogs are going to the state championship.
Man, what a scene after that play. The stands obviously emptied and everybody came onto the field. That's just got to be exciting for you guys.
Yeah, just the spontaneity of it, right? I mean, you're watching the film, you're watching it afterwards, and you just see the excitement and the tenseness as the play is going on, and then once the ball hits the ground, the place just erupts, and at that point as a coach, you're just thankful that they weren't able to complete it. My guess is if they did complete it, we're probably going for 2, and that would have been another situation as well. But we do a good job, have a great stand, and you're right, for the fans to empty on the field like that, and to do something that has never been done, not only at the history of the school, but has never been done by a 6A team in this area to get down there. And I think a lot of people thought that there's no way a 6A team from this area was ever going to get there. But lo and behold, here we are skiing. We're playing on the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Playing for all the marbles. Coach, I know you've talked about the support you've gotten, but I'm sure this week has been probably even more supportive, not only from the people at the school and your community, but I'm sure a lot of people from around the region have been reaching out to you as well.
Unbelievable amount of support. I mean, the Crown Point community has just been absolutely unbelievable what they've done, and the support they have offered. Our kids have got fed every day after practice, and we took a trip down to Purdue, and on the way down to Lucas Oil to practice on Wednesday, and our kids were fed like kings, and I mean just so grateful for the community that we're in, and really happy for our players, because number one, most players don't ever get to this point and play in a state championship game, and number two, they don't usually get to play in front of a community like Crown Point. I mean, those days are done, right? You just don't see it anymore, like the old Hobart days. I think Crown Point's getting to that point, and if people are around in the 70s and the 80s, early 90s, and see how that was, I think we're making our way to that point, because the support that we're getting from these people and businesses has been absolutely fantastic.
That's awesome. And one of the supporters, as we do every week, is Station 21. So let's take a look at the Station 21 players of the week from the semi-state win over Westfield. We'll start with the defense, and this is no surprise. He was everywhere. Once again, Will Clark.
Wow. What a ball game. What a ball game. If he's not a first-team All-State linebacker, I've never seen one. I've never had a guy that could dominate on one side of the ball. Every tackle he's on, if he's not on it, he's right by it. And again, we talked about him putting that pressure on the quarterback at the end of the game and making him throw it probably sooner than what he wanted to. But Will Clark, phenomenal season, and again, he's a returning wrestling champ, and he's going to go to another venue and try to win another championship in another sport. So, and we got a couple of guys like that. So very, very proud of Will and what he's done for us.
On the offensive side, a new name, but boy, you talk about having a game. He came up big in so many instances. Trevor Gibbs.
Trevor Gibbs, and again, some people don't realize, he is a two-way player. He's probably played more plays than any player that we've had in this season. Only a sophomore, and Trevor starts at linebacker. Is also our tight end, and he a couple of those catches were absolutely phenomenal, and his blocking was fantastic. But made some two big catches in the first half to put us ahead, and then a couple catches that kept some drive alive. So Trevor, hats off to him and what he's done all year long. And like I said, so glad to have him for 2 more years coming back.
Well, you talk about the youth, and the youth is going to win the special teams player of the week. Probably nobody had more pressure on him in the overtime than your kicker, Oliver Brewer.
Not only the overtime, but we kicked our first field goal, in that game as well. And he was ice water in his veins. And, you just got to trust him, right? And I know he has never been in that position, but some people don't know Oliver is an outstanding goalie for our soccer team too. So, he's been in those shootouts and knows how to handle himself that way. And I think that all lends itself into when you're deciding if you're going to kick a field goal or not, if you're going to, how we're going to kick it in regards to a kick or anything like that. And so I'm really happy for Oliver. I mean, those are some big time kicks, and we're really happy for him.
Let's look at the scout team players of the week. First, defensively, Ethan Abbott.
Ethan is a guy that's just been doing it all year long. Just got very, very energetic and sometimes too energetic. But anytime you have to slow a football player down, that's a good thing. And did a really great job of simulating what Westfield did on defense, and really helped us to do what we did on offense.
And the scout team offensive player, Logan Deeb.
Logan Deeb did a nice job. He's a center up and coming for us, and the defense thought he was an outstanding player to be named on the defensive side of the ball, or the offensive side of the ball going against our defense, and one of those unsung guys that doesn't get a lot of credit, but I'm glad we could recognize him.
And the last award of the week, the bone-crushing hit of the week, and this week it goes to Jacob Jones.
Jacob Jones could have had it 2 or 3 different times, but he had some big stops on their hook and ladder play, and one other play in overtime, and obviously the play that tipped the ball and won the game for us. But I think he's being awarded the bone crusher hit by one of the hits that he had on the sideline there in overtime, and he was the only guy left there, and did a great job and knocked him out of bounds and kept us from having to go into another overtime. So Jacob Jones, bone crusher of the week.
All right. Congratulations to him and all of the players that won for the Station 21 Player of the Week. Congratulations. And let's keep that momentum going into this week's game. Coach, it doesn't get any easier. It goes from Penn to Westfield to now the Ben Davis Giants. It's going to be a tough task coming this Saturday.
Well, if you're playing for a state championship, you expect it to be hard, right? And
this is true.
There's no question it's going to be a difficult task, but that's how you want it. If you want to be a state champion, there's going to be somebody there that's going to be pretty good. So we knew all along if we got there, there was going to be a quality team, whether it was Cathedral, Center Grove, Brownsburg, those teams, and Ben Davis has beaten them all to get to that point. They're 11-time state champion, and had a lot of calls from a lot of different people in all areas of the country, and have told me that they've watched Ben Davis for many years play on ESPN, and that's just the type of program they are, and we're excited to have the challenge to go against them in the state championship. So talent is unparalleled. What they do is schematically is very good, but their speed and their quickness, their quarterback is going to Miami of Ohio to play. They've got a couple other guys that are already committed to play at the Division I level. They got a junior who's had 28 offers, including Ohio State, Georgia, and Alabama. And that's the type of team we're going to play. So we know that it's going to be a tall task, but we are really looking forward to the challenge, and we're going to give it what we can in the state championship game.
Coach, you mentioned the athleticism, the speed, the quickness. You've played a couple of teams this year that had that. One being in Maryville. Now you face a team that's not only quick, but they're talented as well. What's the plan going in to kind of curtail that?
Well, the only thing we could do is look back at a team similar to what they've had. We've had one team like Ben Davis, but not quite the same in Maryville, and so we look back at that and see some of the things that we were able to do and how we were being successful. But the tough team is not only defending them on Saturday, but it's simulating them during the week. We have no way we can simulate their speed, their athleticism, their strength, their power, their size that we're going to go against. There's just no way, and so that makes it a little bit more difficult. So you gotta really not talk so much about what they have, talk about what we have, and go to the positives. And our guys are I think they're looking forward to the challenge. I mean, why wouldn't you be, right? You're playing a team that's
Right. Sure.
nationally known, and you're on the biggest stage in Indiana football. You're playing at the top level. You're playing the last game of the year. I mean, we're going to have fun with it. We're going to enjoy it. And we're going to try to seize the moment and see if we can slay the giant. Tall task, but I think we're all on board and we're looking forward to it.
Hey, they've got a tall task ahead of them as well. So that's for sure. Coach, it's been a fun week. I assume the guys are getting a lot of attention. They're getting to do some things. You practice at Purdue. You practice down in the Dome. Are you guys having fun this week?
We are. I think our guys have enjoyed it. I think one of the best things is we got to practice on Thanksgiving. And as a coach and a player, if you're practicing on Thanksgiving, some things are going right. And we had a blast practicing it today. And yesterday was a moment that nobody will ever forget. And I'm sure Saturday when we run through that tunnel, and I've heard estimates of 16,000 to 20,000 people that are thinking a record might be broken just because the proximity of Ben Davis, but also the first time for Crown Point. So run through that tunnel. I think it'll be one more memorable moment for our guys, and I couldn't be happier for them to be able to experience it.
Well, Coach, I can't say it enough. Wish you the best of luck in this game. The rest of this week in practice, we're rooting for you, hoping for you, pulling for you. We'll be there, of course, by your side for it all, and it all happens on Saturday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, 7 o'clock down in Indianapolis. The Ben Davis Giants against the Crown Point BullDogs. Coach, best of luck to you.
Ski, thank you, and again, appreciate all the support. Can't wait to see the sea of red that's going to fill that Lucas Oil on Saturday night. We are looking forward to it, and I appreciate you taking time out on this holiday and doing this, and appreciate everything you've done for us over the years. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. We look forward to seeing them on Saturday night. Go Dogs.
Saturday it is. It's the Ben Davis Giants against the Crown Point BullDogs. We'll see you down in Indianapolis, and we'll see you again back here next week for the final BullDog Bark.